You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast, where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Welcome to the Season 1, Episode 6, Oblivion Roundtable. And I just realized I don't think I've been using that Roundtable music this season.
I don't recall.
I don't think I have. And but I guess we're not doing Skyrim Roundtable. So I'm Michael. I'm here with Juan.
Hello.
And Colin.
Evening.
And we are going through the penultimate. This is the penultimate episode of the Oblivion Roundtable. Let's see. We have Blood of the Divines, Miscarcand, Defense of Bruma, and late call adding in the Great Gate, since you really have no choice but to finish the Great Gate, because you can't do anything else after you finish Defense of Bruma.
Yep.
Adam is with us in the chat. How's it going?
Oh, hello, Adam.
On YouTube.
Hello.
So let's see. You guys been playing anything else? A lot of ESO.
ESO
Yeah.
and some Fallout 4.
Fallout 4.
And was it Elder Scrolls Legends? Been playing a good bit of that. Managed to get my I've forgotten his name now. What's that wood elf that you get at the fighting ring in Oblivion? What's his name?
Adoring Fan.
Yeah, I managed to get my Adoring Fan card.
Oh, awesome.
For Elder Scrolls Legends. I've got 2 of them now. You get them by doing an arena type event.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like against a computer. And if you beat it 3 times, then you get a normal Adoring Fan. And then if you beat it and get all the way to Grand Champion, then you get whatever the really special cards are. They have the shimmery light, and they have like a moving scenes behind them, like glowing light and that sort of stuff.
Huh. Didn't they have
premium cards? That's it.
Was there a special event or something in Legends recently? I thought I saw a bunch of promo for that from Bethesda. Were they rolling out something new, or?
Yeah, Clockwork City. So the Clockwork City that got added to ESO just got there's another type that's been added to Elder Scrolls Legends. So some of the characters and the cards and everything that you get, or some of the characters that are in Elder Scrolls Clockwork City are now available as cards in Elder Scrolls Legends.
That's what I was saying then. Okay. Yeah, I've played I haven't played it in ESO, but I played there was a Clockwork City mod, I believe, for Skyrim. It's like a quest expansion mod, I believe. So I'm sure it's lore friendly enough, but not the same as. I think it came out before ESO, so I wonder how closely, how similar they are. Not sure. I'd have to look, because it's been a while since I played it. I think it came out quite a while ago.
Well, I mean, I know that they gotta have some kind of description about it somewhere. So
yeah, it had to be built off of some lore or was it in one of the past games or something? I'm not sure actually.
As far as I know,
yeah, it's built off lore. What's his name? Sotha Sil, who built the Clockwork City, which was like basically a miniature dwarven city.
Yeah,
I haven't completed Clockwork City in ESO. I only just got to the city now, and I just been playing PvP all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting set up for now.
PvP run.
Well, I changed one of my characters from Stamina to Magicka. He's been my PvP character from for a while now, since you reached level 10. It's a wood elf that I'm converting to a Magicka Nightblade.
Oh, okay.
So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, they can be nasty. But mind you, there's no skill with Nightblades anyway. It's all running and hiding and having shuffle on so nobody can hit you and then disappearing. So it's not as if you can actually fight as a Nightblade. It's just that you run and hide.
Yeah, this one's Magicka based, so there's no shuffle.
Yeah.
I'm doing light armor. So it's going to be a lot of just disappearing.
Yeah, just disappearing so they can't hit you.
Yeah, they're pretty squishy.
Yeah, you're gonna watch out for the Magicka Dragon Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Grothdar on. They get the talons on you. Well, that's what I do. Get talons on you or get, what should I call it, fossil on you. Grothdar pops and then it's just fire and blaze and, Flame Lash. That's it.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Still have to catch them.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Well, that's what the volatile armor is for, and mage light.
Yeah, I've been out of the Elder Scrolls world other than my little bit of Oblivion play because I finally just finished up the whole main quest of Assassin's Creed Origins.
How was that?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I liked it as much as some of the early ones. I didn't really play any in the middle there. I played the first couple, then it got to that Revolutionary War one. I dropped out, and this is the first one I've picked up since then. So it was really nice. The exploration was great. The quests are a bit tedious, especially follow quests, and a lot of very similar type quests. But story was solid. The exploration is great. The world looks really good. So that part of it's really enjoyable. I paid like $30 for it, so I got well worth my my money's worth out of it. So
30's not too bad.
Yeah, it was on sale right around Christmas actually, and so I was like, oh, for $30, I mean, I might as well give it a roll.
It's worth checking out.
Yeah, because I liked some of the early ones, and it was good, good word of mouth about it. So I was like, let me give it a roll. So it was definitely well worth it. I enjoyed it. I still have, I think next I have. What's that one? That PS4 one? God, I can't remember. I played it a while ago. The second part of it came out. Uncharted. I have the latest Uncharted sitting there from the fall still, so I might break that out and get back into it. So play through that story. That's not super long. It's another like story-based one, so there's no real exploration or anything like that. You just kind of go on a linear path. And then I want to rebuild a new Skyrim character on Xbox One.
Okay. Yeah, I remember for Assassin's Creed, I played the first one and just couldn't really get into it. Past like the first 20 minutes, I think I played it.
Yeah, the mechanics were a little, and I will say some of the fighting mechanics, even in this, like you get lost. Like if you're close to a wall, you can't see. Sometimes there's some funky things you notice. It's certainly not perfect, but I think at the price point it was good. I don't know if I would have been thrilled if I had picked it up at the full price. Which one?
Yeah, I know they've definitely, from what I've heard, they've improved the game and everything. Because I even had a friend who was big into really like the first one, but he said, yeah, it is really repetitive.
Oh yeah, incredibly competitive or repetitive. I liked the first couple, and yeah, this one's less repetitive because the story's a little more robust, but it's still pretty repetitive. Like all the ancillary quests are kind of this guy needs help, go kill all these whatever soldiers, bandits, whatever they happen to be in this fort, so you send your eagle up, you spot them all, and you slowly one by one take them out. So it's you do that a lot. But the worst, there were some sea battles which broke it up a little bit at least, but wasn't a huge fan of those, but I think there was only 3 of them, so that wasn't too terrible. And you actually only exited the Animus twice, so it was really, really a small part of the story.
Oh, that's good, because the first one I think was a big part of it.
Oh,
right?
yeah, you used to get out of that thing like every 5 seconds, it felt like. But I don't know if, like, I was talking to Victor last time about it. I don't know if that was a mechanic of the time where they needed that break to reload a new area or something like that, you know?
Right.
I don't know if it was a necessity to put it in. Like, whereas this time, like, it was barely part of the story at all, you know? I guess I could have gotten out of it more. I don't know if that would have led to more story or anything, but I didn't do that, so... I tend to just like the one world and not the other, so it's, you know. And you did flip between 2 characters at some points, not a lot, which was fine for the most part. You just kind of, when you flip to the other character, you lose all your gear and weapons that you had in the other one. So,
Oh, wow.
you know, you build up all that stuff over time, and you're like, I would like to use that stuff, but you can't. And so that's a little funky, but it generally doesn't really affect anything.
So Victor must love that. He gets to start a new character every time.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, you're just starting over in the middle of the game, which would be perfect for him. Just start right again. Just keep starting. But,
well, each one is supposed to be like in a different time or something, right?
Yeah. This one was like Egypt and the Roman Empire kind of thing. Cleopatra era. Just. This is obviously by the title Origins, it's the beginnings of the Assassin's Guild or whatever, Creed, whatever, you know. So it's basically that whole story.
So do we find out that Cleopatra didn't actually kill herself?
Yeah, there's some funky history in it. I don't know if you'd really want to rely on Assassin's Creed for your history, but there's some interesting twists and turns.
Yeah. I know that on Xbox games with gold, that quite a few of them have been on for free.
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't. I always forget to check and download that stuff. Sometimes it's just stuff I don't even want though, so I don't even bother with it.
I just pick it up and don't download it.
Yeah, that's true.
I figure someday I may want to try it or whatever, just for whatever reason.
Yeah, because once it's in your library, it's in your library.
Right.
Oh, did you see? I don't know if either of you played Fable, but I really enjoyed those games. And after the disaster of the one they were going to put out, I don't know if they ever put it out or something happened. But now there was a press release or an article about a new one being worked on, a traditional single player one.
Oh, okay.
So,
because I know the new one was supposed to be even like cross-platform.
Yeah.
Xbox and PC.
Yep. Yeah, so this was, I guess, supposed to go back to the old style.
No, I played one once for about 20 minutes. And then I met some guy and gave him must have been about a 15-minute handshake.
Oh, God. Yeah, where you had to make him happy.
Enough.
Yeah.
Bye.
Was it the third one, second or third one? I don't know. You could buy houses and stuff, and
you could the second one.
Yeah, it might have been the second one. You could bring like multiple people to bed, get married. It was a lot going on in that game. The third one actually, I now I remember the third one was a little more I didn't love it as much, but the ending was kind of more complex. Like there was no clean ending. Like the choices you made had consequences no matter which way you went. Like so you couldn't just, all right, well if I go back and do it this way, everything will work out perfectly. No, like whatever you did was going to have a negative consequence in some way and some positive consequence. You just had to figure out what was worth what for you. So I did like that aspect of it. And those were a little more open world than most games, so I enjoyed them. But we should probably get to Oblivion. We had, of course, like we said, Blood of the Divines, Miscarcand, Defense of Bruma, Great Gate. I had done Miscarcand a long time ago, of course. So there was that. We'll get to that when we get to that. Let's see. So, the Blood of the... that's the Great Gate. Let me see. Blood of the Divines. You have to talk to Martin, and you learn you need Blood of the Gods. So you have to head to Sancrator and find the undead blades, and essentially go through there, and you'll find the what is it? The armor. That's right, because there's blood on the armor of Tiber Septim, which is blood of the gods. So I remembered this quest, and I remembered it incorrectly as the Knights of the Nine. Because of the knights at the end where they're kneeling by the tomb there.
Right.
So I falsely remembered it as Knights of the Nine. So when I got to that point, I was like, oh, that's this quest. That's right. I really love the ending of this. But what was your experience in Sancrator?
I think I did around the same time as you did, so I don't recall too much. I just remember you kind of had to go in a few different directions because it was almost like
it was circular. Yeah. You go into that main room, and then there's, I think, 4 or 5 doors. And when I first went in, I had completely forgotten what I was supposed to do because I didn't listen to to Martin when he gave me the quest.
Sorry, nobody listens to Martin.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Martin, I'll go to Sancrator. It's fine. I'm going to go. So I went there, and I snuck through the whole thing, and then I came back out, and I'm like, wait, nothing happened. I just went through this whole place. And then nothing happened. So I'm like, time to get the UESP up. They're like, oh, you got to kill the undead blades that are in there or whatever it was. I was like, oh, that's what that makes sense. I didn't fight anybody. I just snuck through the whole thing. So sometimes sneaking doesn't work. Yeah, I literally went in and out. I'm like, God, I've been through every single door and every single part of this catacombs. Like, what did I miss? And then I finally realized that I didn't actually fight anybody, which is what I missed. So there was that. But once I did, it went pretty simply.
Nice.
But my character is relatively high level at this point, so it's not extremely difficult. Although the gate wasn't super easy, but I really do love the end scene when you get the after you defeat all 4 undead blades. Is it 4 of them or 5 of them? I think it's 4. Yeah, one.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
And then they line up right by where the armor is, by the tomb there. I always really like that scene a lot. So then
you did free them, so
yeah. I mean, they're happy. They're no longer skeletons, no longer trapped in skeletons as undead. So yeah, Martin uses that blood to as part of his. Well, he's going to use that blood, I should say, as part of his ritual.
Right.
So you return to him, bring him the armor, and on to the next quest. Which
it's
Miscarcand, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's a pretty big ruin from what I remember, correct? Elliot Ruin.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of the bigger ones. I mean, got through it pretty quick, but didn't seem that big to me. But that's what he says. He said it was like one of the cities, the alien cities.
I think a lot of it was closed off, though.
Oh, really? If you go in for the quest?
Because I know you go in and there's like a center area, and then you have to go through each doorway, and then each one goes to a separate area. But it's still, like you said, it's not that big. I know some of the other alien ruins I've been in just seemed a lot bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some really extensive ones. I don't recall Miscarcand because I literally did this months ago. So I did it really early on.
Yeah.
But the king of Miscarcand is relatively tough. Well, he was when I battled him, which I was pretty low level. But yeah, you have to raise all the staircases, right? Is that what it is to be able to get up to the center?
Well, I was up at
No,
top
no.
most of the time, I think.
I think you're thinking the one for the great Varlet, or not Varlet Stone.
You're talking about
For
the
the
Great
great-
Welkinstone. That is
Yeah.
Miscarcand.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
this one. Yeah.
Yeah, that battle was a little bit tougher because you had to fight the Lich.
Yeah, that's the king. Yeah, you have to, and that's the
Yeah.
third thing you need it for it. So there was the armor was the blood was the second. I think we picked up the one last time, which was no, it was a couple times ago, right? Blood of the Daedra. We grabbed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to give him a Daedric artifact. Yeah,
That's what it was. Yeah, that was in episode 3. So that was like 2 months ago. But yeah, and then of course we have the blood of the divines, which was Tiber Septim's blood in his armor, and then the Great Welkin Stone in Miscarcand. So, and then
There was it inside there? There was I had like headless zombies, loads of zombies, goblins, and wraiths. I think. No, skeletons.
Skeletons.
And then you had the king, right?
Yeah, the zombies were horrible though.
I feel like zombies. Yeah.
The regeneration was ridiculous. I mean, I had to keep setting them on fire and just keep hitting them. Even the Dremora Lords took a while to take them out.
Oh, really?
Because I had to sit there and keep setting them on fire so their regeneration would slow down a little bit. Because if I even slowed down on them a bit, I'd see their health start going up.
Start
really?
ticking back up. Yeah. The trolls are like that too. Yeah.
Those things chase you all over the place.
Oh yeah, they don't stop either. Like you can't run away and hide; they'll just come find you.
Yeah.
I was because I wasn't down inside; I was up high as I was walking around most of the time. I jumped down once, I think, to loot bodies, but most of the time I was shooting fireballs from above everything.
Oh, okay.
And blasting it to bits.
I mean, I've hit some of them with an arrow from down below, and then they just start running. Next thing I know, they're like right next to me.
Yeah, they're very fast. Yeah, heads or no heads, they're very fast. The headless are much fast. I feel like they're much faster for some reason.
Well, they got less weight.
Yeah, that's true. More aerodynamic, I guess. But yeah, I mean, they book down there. Like if you're up high, they'll find the entrance to get up there and be up there. If you're down low, they'll be down there pretty quickly. Yeah,
I mean, they even go like into other parts. Like, you know how you have those doors with the little symbols on them? They'll go through those and come out through the other one. Because I sit there and I kind of go back the way they came. Like, which way did they get up here from?
Yeah, because it's like, because in Skyrim, you go out a door. That's it. Like, everything's end scene. It's done. Nobody's coming after you. In Oblivion, you go out the door. Everything's following you right out the door. It doesn't matter. You know, the goblins, the zombies, bandits, whatever, they follow you right through, which I like better, actually. It's more, more immersive for sure. It's weird. I wonder why they got rid of that mechanic, though.
Probably because people were, like, leading them. Because if you do that, then you can sort of, like, lead things through a door, and then they all get bottlenecked, and then you just blast, like,
that's
hold a shield. What I could do is like hold up a shield and then just cast. I created a spell called Final Flash. If anybody knows what that's from, you're welcome. And I just came on. It was just it does makes things 50% weaker to fire in a 5-foot radius. So when they're all stacked up on me, and then also does. Was it 70 or something like that fire damage in a 5-foot area? So,
oh wow! So yeah, you're really
when everything gets crowded around me, and then I'll just pop a potion as well and then my magic just regenerates for the next like 200 seconds or something like that. 19 points per second for 200 seconds or something.
Oh yeah, so it's not even going down while you're casting, really. No. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, that's why I've started making those regeneration potions. Those are
They're
pretty
great.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the health ones and the magical ones are great. Yeah, well, and depending on what type of character you're playing, the stamina ones also. But yeah, they can really regenerate a good amount.
Yeah, I find I use a lot more potions in this game than I did in Skyrim.
Oh, I do too. Yeah, I use tons of potions in Oblivion. They're super useful, really, and you can make ones that have all kinds of, I feel like they're a little more varied in what you can make and mix and match and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I know, and it's also tough because there's only a limited amount of potions you can take.
Yeah. Was it like 4, right, or something like that?
Maybe 5 or 6, but
yeah,
you sit there
it's
and
pretty
you're
close.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this.
Nope.
I should have taken this. Okay, I can't take any more. I'm full.
Yeah, that happened to me. In the later quest in the Great Gate, yeah, that happened to me there. I was like, let me bang out some health potions here. Oh wait, I can't take any more. I was like, oh god, this is no good.
Yeah, that when I was trying to keep Martin alive for sure.
Oh man, I actually did pretty well there, I got to admit. My armor trick was super useful, since if I didn't do the armor trick, he would have no armor. So it was actually helpful. But
put some good enchantments on this.
I forget what I put on them. Yeah, I put like resist. They weren't huge because you can only put 1 on each thing.
Right.
So because I'm not in the Mage's College, so I couldn't put anything more than just 1. Just one of the use the stones I had been farming, the sigil stones. So it was like whatever, resist magic or resist fire or whatever. So he had a couple enchantments. It wasn't anything crazy. I didn't go like overboard with it because I wanted to kind of simulate what he would have with his normal armor. So I didn't want to go ridiculously overboard. But he was rolling around in Daedric armor, so he looked like a true hero. Out there in his shiny.
I think he has some enchantments on that armor he has though, because
yeah,
I
he
hit
does.
him with whatchamacallit, Greater Convalescence. I was just spamming that into the big crowd of soldiers.
Yeah, the mass.
I hit it from Daedra with it as well. I just kept, as I said, spamming it. And I hit him once, and he glowed purple, which I believe is reflect spell.
Yeah, reflect. Yeah. I tried to match relatively closely what he has, so it was like absorb magicka and reflect and stuff. I didn't go crazy with it because I wanted it to be similar to what I would have experienced had I, not had the issue with the Great Welkin Stone where I grabbed it too early. But I did have an issue where he didn't put on the armor one time, and I had to reload, and then he did put it on. So, or no, that's right. He put it on, then I reloaded it because it was nighttime, and I wanted to do the quest during the daytime. So I just reloaded to the chapel scene so I could wait and do it during the daytime. And then I went out, and then he didn't put it on, and I'm like, oh crap, now he's not going to put on the armor. Great. I took my chance, and he put it on. Now he's not going to put it on. But as soon as we got out of the gate, he had it on. So he's doing his speech, walking back and forth in his Daedric armor, which was interesting. But really, really fit the scene well. But yeah, I don't recall much of Miscarcand because it was so long ago. So I mean, there is that. But
you have to go back and forth and around a bit because you have to keep on pressing buttons to open.
There's a lot of buttons in that, right?
Yeah, so you have to go all the way. You got to go to one end, kill a few things, then find the button, press that button, then come back. Then you can go through that door, and that leads you to the next door, which you have to go press another button and then come back again. I don't remember any traps though. There was no those giant metal things that come down from the ceiling.
Oh yeah, like the stones or whatever that shoot up in the air.
Yeah,
the floors that shoot up in the air.
That the ones where they had the depressed stone in the middle. You stand on it, and then the walls on the sides open up, and a zombie comes out with you. That would have worked, but on me because I wasn't really looking at the floor. But I did have a ring of detect life, so I could see where everything was.
Yeah, it sees right through the wall, so you can tell when those are going to open up pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
The only
I
thing
really love it.
I would complain about is the lack of a really good loot.
Yeah.
I never found any really good loot. All the stuff that I found, I had much better stuff than it.
Yeah, there was nothing really useful.
You had the loot from the blades. So you had like a named weapon does 20 frost damage.
Yeah, their weapons weren't that great. I ended up not really taking much of their stuff. What, there was a shield and a...
There was a shield, a named weapon, and a necklace, I think.
Yeah.
That was like 4 or 5 block, 10. And then the shield was, I think, reflect damage, 9%. As I said, the sword was 20% frost damage, but I think it was two-handed.
Yeah, I think it was. I think you're right.
I think I used the shield for a little bit and then kind of moved on because my character's sword and shield. So
yeah. Well, I had just finished the Knights of the Nine just prior to doing this one anyway. Oddly enough, so.
That's some.
You're not really gonna find anything better.
Yeah. So I was like, well, and I'm rolling. I have my stuff I use anyway. That's I'm like I said, I'm at 95% chameleon or whatever it is. So it's nothing sees me. So I don't really change out very often. The only thing I do change is my headgear. At night, I wear the one with Night Eye and Detect Life, and during the day, I actually wear the black hood from. I finished it at Dark Brotherhood. I did the Dark Brotherhood, actually, between episodes.
Okay.
Really love the Dark Brotherhood. Oh, my gosh. That should definitely be on the list.
Too.
Yeah, it's so good. That should definitely be on the list for that. That's worthy of like a roundtable. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I think once we finish Shegora's thing, we could probably start a new character.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you want to be lower leveled. Like I just blew because I wanted to kind of remember it for future reference because it had been a while since I had completed the whole thing. And it's really good. I really like it a lot more than the Skyrim one. Although the ending's a little clunky. I'm like, these dopes, but But yeah, no, Shivering Isles. That's such a great expansion. Can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, both expansions are really good for this game.
Yeah, they really are. So yeah, after that we go back up to Cloud Ruler, give Martin the Great Welkin Stone, and then we meet.
He's already in his armor as well.
Well, no, he's not. Yeah, he's not in his armor. For those of us to complete it the correct way, he is in his armor. For those of us who accidentally grabbed the stone, he is not in his armor.
But he didn't. Actually, he didn't say he was getting the armor to wear it. He said he just wanted the blood, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then suddenly, he's like wearing it.
He's like, "Wow, this is really nice."
All right, that's like, a bit presumptuous, isn't it? Joffrey's like, all right, mate, calm down. That's Tiber Septim's armor. What the fuck you doing?
Fits. Yeah, gotta wear something. I think actually here is where I gave him his armor. I reverse pickpocketed him. So to clarify, I picked up the Great Welkin Stone way early in the game, which causes a glitch where Martin won't put it in his armor. So I had to make 0-weight armor because you can't reverse pickpocket in Oblivion unless something weighs 0. And the only things that weigh 0 are conjured gear. So what do? You conjure the gear. I was able to, because my smithing is high enough, or armorer was high enough, I armored it up to 125 and then dropped it, which made it a permanent item, but it had 0 weight. And essentially, all conjured stuff is always Daedric. So then I would pick it up, and I basically had a Daedric whole set armor and a mace. I got him, which he didn't even use the mace. He used his knife, which must have been better or something than the mace I gave him. But
maybe he had Mehrunes' razor.
Yeah, I mean he might. I mean, who
Skyrim.
knows? Yeah, I don't know what he had, but like he had everything else but the mace. He was using something else. Unless I forgot to give him the mace, which is possible. I may have just given him the armor and totally forgot, but. So I built all that, and I put one enchantment on each thing with sigil stones, and the same thing with the mace. And I labeled them all Martin's gear, so I wouldn't get confused on whose gear it was. And then gave it to him. Reverse pickpocketed, gave it to him, and it all worked well. And he eventually did put it on, but not until we got outside the gates of Bruma, and I was concerned that that was not going to go well. But he did put it on, so there is that. But yeah, so we talked to him in Cloud Ruler. He puts on the armor, and we head off to Bruma and meet up in the chapel, correct? That's where we meet everybody? Or do we meet before that?
We go and talk to the Countess in our place and tell her what your plan is.
And then head to
the church.
The chapel, of Talos. And then you talk to a couple people, and then you tell her when you're ready. And everybody runs out the gates, down the hill. There's multiple gates opening, and we're waiting for the Great Gate to open. But before that, Martin gives a great speech, and if he's wearing Tiber Septim's armor, it looks fantastic. Also, it's very confusing if he's wearing Daedric armor, and there's a lot of Daedra coming through the gates. I'll just tell you that.
A lot of Daedra.
Just a heads up on that. So there is another negative to the Great Welkenstone issue, is that you have to dress him in Daedric armor, and then he looks like some of the folks coming through the gate. So I tried not to shoot too much near him or fire anything too much near him. I tried to just put my Daedroth over there or shield him or things like that, because it's can so easily get confused in that massive battle of things coming out that it was just something. I didn't want to accidentally kill him, because that would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, I think he died. I had to reload twice, I think.
Yeah, that's not bad.
He died once, and then the other time, he died accidentally, I think. No, I killed somebody, and everybody was like, "Oh, you killed somebody." I was like, "Oh, fuck you." So I reloaded that, because that's stupid. And then I was having so much fun killing everything. Even after the Great Gate opened, I just carried on killing. And then suddenly turn around. Oh wait, Martin's dead. Right, let's reload that. And then the minute the Great Gate opens, then hop through it, because then he becomes immortal again. I had the bright idea of I had a scroll on me of summon Zifkin, Zifgali, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, the Exige of Zivalvi or whatever it is.
Yeah, because you get out of the scroll of that. Yeah, and then that's a twofer, because he'll summon a Clanfear as well.
Oh, that's right, because he summons. Yeah.
So I summoned him, and then I couldn't distinguish between him and all the other ones that were there, all the other Clanfears. So I'm pretty sure I killed him after I summoned him. Like 10 seconds.
God, that's great. I'm at 99, and at the very edge of conjuration of going to 100, and I'm like, God, I just want to get to 100 so I can cast the Storm Atronach. But then, 15 of them came out of the gate anyway. So I'm like, well, even if I cast it, I'm not going to know what the hell one's mine anyway. So it really doesn't matter. I'm like, I'll just... No real Daedroths were coming through, so I kept casting that, because it wasn't... Not many of them were really coming through. It was mostly higher level stuff.
Yeah, I only saw one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the real problem with actually casting one of those is if a friendly hits it, it's going to attack the friendly.
Yeah, and it's powerful.
Yeah,
and it has lightning. So yeah. There's multiple issues with it. So I stuck with the Daedroth because it's a good kind of tank to send out there with its shield and all that. It puts that shield spell on or whatever it does, and so I just kind of roll that out there, and it kind of takes a lot of hits. So I kind of kept that near Martin. That was kind of my strategy, which worked out pretty solidly. He survived, so
I just followed the green arrow. I think I ran through it twice because the first time it said somebody, a quest giver or somebody from a quest just died,
Oh,
and I thought it was Martin, so I just went ahead and reloaded. But then I remember I'm like, no, if Martin dies, it tells you Martin died.
yeah. If Martin dies, that's
But,
it. It's over.
Yeah,
Game over.
but I
If Martin
know
dies.
Joffrey died.
Uh,
So Joffrey's dead, and two of the guards from the cities are dead as well.
yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't hurt me later.
Oh, yeah. I haven't checked who died.
Yeah, I don't know who died as well. I think maybe Boris is dead because I managed to save Boris, and he comes with you with Joffrey and Martin to the fight. I think he might be dead, or it might be Joffrey. One of the two, I think. I definitely saw Akaviri armor lying on the floor.
Yeah, I went through after the battle and just started picking up everything I could and repairing it, and then just putting it back on the bodies.
Yeah, I saved after coming out of the gate, so I haven't really gone through the scene yet. Gone through and seen what's laying around or who's laying around.
Yeah, no, I just walked through the gate, and that's when the quest ended. So I just saved there and then turned it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I found a sigil stone on the floor as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even look for that. I'm gonna have to go look. Yeah, I ended up closing the Great Gate only because I wouldn't be able to do anything else until I did anyway. So I just went through and closed it, which is essentially you're just going through an Oblivion gate and closing it. You just have a time limit.
Yeah, I did same thing that you guys were talking about the last episode. Just walk on water.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Healing all the way,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I looked up. I go, okay, this one has a light through the slit. That's the one I'm going to. And just ran. Did not even fight anything.
Yeah, I went straight ahead, right past the machine to the right, across the lava, up a little bit of a hill, hopped onto the bridge. I think I had to open the gates. That was it. So I went up. Yeah, went up one tower, opened the gates, and then I was there. And then I think I got to the top with 7 minutes left.
Oh, wow.
So it was, I mean, you have 15 for a reason. I was booking it. I was like, I'm getting to the top, getting this closed. But, I mean, I've had it where I haven't finished it in the past. Cause I think if you don't go straight across the lava, like if you're lower level and can't do it, or you don't have like water walking and healing and stuff, you have to go down into the caves and stuff, I believe. I think it's a little complicated to get to the other side of the lava. If you don't have it, if you don't go that direction, I believe.
I usually like killing everything and then looting everything inside because that's where you get all the good gear from.
Yeah, there's a ton of good gear.
I think I'm gonna just have to scamper through because she's got all that speed gear on her.
Oh yeah,
so like 4 or 5 speed, so she can probably race through pretty much anything, and I'll just keep on casting a Daedroth or something like that to leave behind as she's zooming past.
That's what I do. Through. Yeah, that's what I do a lot.
Yeah, I think I had a ring and a necklace of speed, like plus 10, and then I had a spell that was giving me plus 19, plus give me a plus 100 to my carry weight, because I think I also put on some shoes. So I was carrying way too much to run if I didn't keep casting that spell.
Yeah, I was I didn't have any speed stuff on, but I had obviously my chameleon stuff on, so I went as quick as possible. The only thing that slowed me down was those choppers that come down, sometimes as big knives that drop, serrated knives, and you don't see them until like all of a sudden, like you're shaking and you're like, what the hell's going on? Like, oh Jesus, like one of those things again. Like, oh god,
you gotta
That was the beauty of all the speed stuff I had.
You went right under it.
Oh, I ran right through when I hit the flat section. Then I saw everything get all by. You know how it gets kind of blurry or fuzzy when they come down, and I'm like, oh, I missed those. Okay.
Yeah, I have done speed runs through them. I have had characters that were super fast where I just run through the gates, because really you do need, like, after a while you need a strategy going through the gates depending on what you want to do. Like if you're going to farm them for gear, they're great for that. If you're just interested in the sigil stones, like speed or sneak is better for that, because you can just blow through them and get to the top. It just depends on what you want,
Right.
how you want to play it. But there is a ton of great gear, and even the the fleshy pods or whatever usually have pretty good stuff in them.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually you'll have like 1 or 2, and then one will just have a couple of potions in it.
Yeah.
And then you go to one, and that'll have an enchanted item.
Yep. Yeah, the ones up by the sigil stones themselves usually have better stuff.
The punished.
Yeah, the punished. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they usually have better stuff up there. And and the fleshy pods are usually in the tunnels, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they have that gross sound.
Yes, they do. Like, yeah. Sounds like mammoth cheese or something.
An old man's scrotum.
Oh, that's way worse.
Don't ask me how I know.
This is what happens when you cut it open. Like, oh god, yeah. Oh, well, apparently, from reading the UESP, you can go through tunnels. You can go through. There's 6 towers you can go through. Or you can do like Juan and I and cheat and jump right across the lava and get to the other side. But yeah, there's multiple ways to do it, of course.
I think
I'll
you
let you
can
know
also
how I cheat next time.
Yeah,
I think you
definitely.
can get your agility up high enough where you can actually just jump over.
Yeah, there is actually, you can jump over / around the gates as well.
Yeah.
So, but it does give you just, you have the 15 minutes, but it will give you like, all right, you have 14 minutes left or 5 minutes left. It does give you a countdown. And then once you get really close, it updates pretty regularly. Like every few seconds, it'll tell you like, hey, you might want to get that stone really soon.
Yeah, you're there looking through like punished things right next to the sigil stuff.
Yeah, you're like, oh, wait, no, I got to get this thing. Yeah.
You're like, dude, like, I'm checking out my jewelry. Oh, God. Do I drop this or do I pick this up? Do I have a scroll? If I use the scroll, can I use the scroll and the spell with feather? Oh, no, I don't know. Everybody's dead.
Yep. You got it. Yeah, and if you get over encumbered, you're not getting it. So there's that. And then, like, when you close it, the machine like falls on your head, and you're like, "Oh my god, am I gonna die?" But it kind of just like falls around you. You don't really get crushed, thankfully. But
that thing is huge.
It is very, very big. And I've had it, obviously many times where I didn't make it to the top, and it barreled right through. It's a very interesting machine that comes through to the other side, but. Yeah, I mean, I would say if you've never played before, definitely let it go through one time just to see that kind of ending, even though it's negative, and then go through it. I mean, you may experience it anyway, not realizing it. So
yeah, because I mean, you know how to close a lot of the Oblivion gates, but you don't really have that timer.
Yeah, you don't have, and then. If you're not doing the shortcuts, if you're lower leveled, if you just went into the main quest and kind of went straight through it, it's definitely a much slower process. And 15 minutes isn't
There's a lot
lot
of stuff that can kill you.
Yeah, 15 minutes is not a lot of time in those Oblivion gates.
No.
Even the regular ones. I mean, because by the time you wander around and find, like some of the ones where you have to go through a bunch of the cave sections and stuff, it's
pick up all your blood grass and Parada Road.
Yep.
Well, all the ones that were required for the city gate had a lot of levels because
yes,
you go into the caves, come out, walk around, go into another cave, come out, walk around.
Yeah.
There's one where it goes up in sections, and you're going up like a type of a hill.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like a mountain, and you got to go in one entrance, come out, kill a couple of enemies, move up sort of like 30 feet, then go into another one, and then it was a giant pain.
Yeah, that mountain style one, that one is tough because you're going in and out so many different times and like working your way all the way up. Yeah, but yeah, I like this part of the main quest. It's different. It has consequences. Like you can't just get through it. You have to protect somebody. get them through it. And then, of course, other people can die off. So there is that as well.
Yep.
And if you don't finish it, everybody on was it Nern dies off. So there's that. So you definitely want to finish it. But yeah,
that's all right. Or if you let them all die, if you let Mehrunes Razor sort out, 200 years time, the dragons are going to sort him out.
That's a good point. It's a good point. They are coming soon. That is true. Yeah.
A couple hundred years there, and that's it. Dragons, and they're just going to eat Daedra.
Oh, what about like an alternate history Elder Scrolls V where, you know, you didn't save the gate, and then Alduin versus Mehrunes Dagon. Oof.
That's it.
That would
or
be...
just alternate endings from all the old Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Like he didn't become the Numidian in Morrowind and whatever in Daggerfall. And
yeah.
So everything
went bad. Dragons versus Daedra everywhere. That would be those would be some interesting battles.
Yeah. That's a mod for you.
Yeah. Change every NPC.
That's it. You're not a dragonborn. You're a Daedra.
Change every NPC
You're coming in
in
on
the
a
game.
cart called on a pool of lava. And Alduin comes down and starts eating all your fire atronachs.
Yeah, every NPC becomes, instead of the races, becomes one of the Daedra. Bunch of spider Daedra running around.
You're all cutting each other's hearts out and making healing potions out of them.
Yeah. Dark times in Skyrim.
patent pending.
I guess the vampires wouldn't be all that much of a threat at that point.
No, they're the toadies. They're the ones who are running around, sort of like, you know, getting you drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't have much power in that world, I wouldn't think. It is funky seeing the siege crawler, though, is interesting, though. You don't really see any large mechanical devices like that other than at the ending here of the Great Gate.
Right.
It's a very non-magical or non-fantasy thing. I guess it's fantasy because it's, you know, obviously, but it's very mechanical, and which is odd, you know, coming from the Oblivion plane. It's not like some massive Daedra or something.
It's almost like if it was like Dwarven or something.
Yeah, it kind of has it does really have a Dwarven feel. So I wonder, you know, maybe like, did they get some inspiration from did Mehrunes stir that drink a little bit and give them a little boost to their society that maybe bit them in the end?
Well, maybe they claim to not what do you call it? Pray to any gods, but they actually made a deal with Mehrunes Dagon.
That could be possible. That would be interesting to find out. Who knows if we ever will, or if we'll ever get another game.
Yeah. Is there any news about this space game that they apparently have made or something? Or
I have not heard anything on that. Yeah, you're right. That's right. They were supposed to be the space game coming out, right?
Yeah, can they get that done?
Yeah, please. Yeah, can we? I assume
just finish it so you can start on Elder Scrolls.
I assume it would be this. Maybe they're going to release it this winter. So for them, they probably wouldn't announce if
when's that computer game convention thing? That big one that announces everything.
E3 is May.
I think it was June.
May or June, and that's when. June. I think you're right. I think it is June. Yeah. And they've been doing their big reveals there, so it's probably not until then you're not going to hear anything, because they definitely don't let anything out ahead of time. That's for sure.
Yeah. No. But are they going to sort of like announce it there and it's going to be out in October, November time like they usually do?
I would assume.
Or it's going to be like next week.
Oh, yeah, they've done that too, though. Yeah, they have done the quick release with some ESO stuff, right? After E3, I believe.
They've done. What is it? Fallout Shelter. That night,
yeah.
Didn't they?
That's right.
Oh, by the way, we made Fallout Shelter.
Here you go.
Released No.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They did. Yeah, the year they
can
announced
download it
Fallout.
now.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Shelter they announced right at that thing too, and they put it right out. Yeah, I wonder if they would do something like that. Whatever the space thing is, I assume we would hear about it at E3, whatever they end up doing there, and then I assume it would be out for Christmas. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about it since last year, I guess.
Well, yeah, last year they announced the Skyrim SE, right?
Yeah.
What was the last thing they released? It was Dishonored, right? Something like, a whole game original, not like a reboot or a remaster. That was the last thing they brought out, wasn't it? Dishonored?
They also announced the one where the stealth game.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, they announced the SE stuff last year. I don't know. Maybe we'll get something this year. Maybe. It's what, 2018? That's 5 years. Oh, God, I'm thinking it's probably
Dishonored.
What's that?
Dishonored 2.
Dishonored 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Dishonored 2. Yeah. I don't know. What are we thinking? 2019 is most realistic?
Well, they're going to release their space game this year, and then they have another one that they're supposed to release, correct?
Well, it looks like I've just gone to the site and they've got, was it Play Wolfenstein 2 free trial now?
Wolfenstein 2, yeah.
But they said
Evil Within 2 free trial. Evil Within 1
they're supposed to be original games, though, right? The two that they were working
the
on.
space was like a new title completely, right? Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm hoping before, 2020, I guess, at the latest.
Oh God.
I got disconnected again.
Oh, did you? No, we can still hear you.
Yeah, I got disconnected again.
Oh, did you? Wow.
Yeah, just said you just joined the chat.
Yeah, I don't know. I got my fingers crossed for 2019 at least, since that's 6 years. That's pretty long development time. That gives them a little bit of time with the Xbox One X and stuff. Yeah. So you'll have upgraded consoles essentially.
But that's still like, what is that? 8 years since.
Oh shit! It came out in 2011. My God, why am I thinking 2013?
Because that was Fallout, right?
Yeah, that's why. Oh, God. All right. Yeah, we need this. No. Fallout was only 2 years ago. 2018, 2016. 2015, I think, was Fallout.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I think 2013 was when they. No? That's not even when they released their last DLC, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to hope for now. I'm changing my vote to hope for this year.
I mean, I wish we'd had it last year, but
yeah. I'm changing to vote for this year because, see, 2011 to 20. What year is it? 2018. It's 2018, right?
2018 already. Yeah.
2018.
Holy shit!
What's that? 7 years?
Yeah, 7 years is more than the last one because it was what 2011. Oblivion is what 2008. 2007.
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like the longer they keep from releasing it, the higher the expectation.
Yeah.
Which, if it's just kind of like not like 20, 30 times better than Skyrim, people are just gonna be like, "Oh, we waited for this."
Yeah, it's gonna be tough because it's a tough balance. Like Skyrim kind of hit that sweet spot with a really nice balance of you could literally do anything. And that's hard to do, you know.
Plus, he said he wants to do something that's not technologically possible at the moment.
Yeah, there's that too.
Which, I mean, it seems like VR is kind of what maybe is what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's pretty limiting, though. I mean, there's a large, as I am one, there's a large, pretty significant part of the population that can't play it.
Or just won't.
Yeah. And there's also, but there could be AR, some kind of AR part, you know.
Yeah.
I know Victor's big on that, but I don't know how they would work that into the game itself anyway.
Elder Scrolls Go.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Go. And Oblivion was released in 2006.
Yep.
March of 2006.
5 years later.
Yeah. 5.5, I guess, because it was released in March. So 5.5 years later than Skyrim, and now. Yeah, now we're working on 7 years. So we got to be getting close. I mean, it would be amazing if they announced that at E3 this year, whatever 6 would happen to be called. But yeah, I think 19 is still more realistic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly not holding my breath for this.
Yeah,
this
I am
year.
not either.
I'd like to at least. I mean, it'd be nice if they would at least give a teaser saying we've started working on it.
Yeah, they don't. They never do that. That's the killer. Yeah,
no, they won't do that, and that's. I mean, because people are just kind of raging and. Because people want their Elder Scrolls.
Yeah. Well, they've done a good. I gotta say, they've done a good job keeping it at the forefront with the different releases and stuff. So they've done enough to keep people aware of the game,
right,
and the series. So there is that.
I mean, if they could make ESO a single player game, that would definitely fulfill the requirements as well.
Yeah, true. That's true. And they've done well with that. I mean, how many years has that been now? 4 years? 5 years?
4 years if you count the PC, right?
Yeah. 4 years since the PC release. That's right. Yeah. So I mean, that's been going on quite a while. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. They got another chapter coming out in June, so.
Oh, okay.
I think they plan on releasing a new chapter every year, so it'll be interesting to see what's other next area they open up now.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. It's great to keep. It keeps the franchise alive, the story, through story alive. So, it keeps people interested. That's a good thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I can understand that how long it's taking to release the game, just because they do write like every single one of those lore books.
Oh yeah. There's so much that goes into it. So I'd rather it take an extra year and be, close to what's expected rather than be rushed out, for sure.
Yeah.
And no voiced protagonist, please.
Yeah, don't voice our Elder Scrolls.
Some people were saying that was it? Oh, you have it as an option, so it's going to be like you can have it with a voice protagonist, or you can't. No, Sherry.
That feels clunky.
It will be optimized for the voice protagonist.
Yeah.
So everything will go along to that, and then it'll be a kind of an option to turn it off. So no, either have one or the other, and obviously the other being not voice and having it perfect.
Well, I think the issue is in Fallout, it's much simpler to do because it's a male character, female character. In Skyrim, you have all the different voices, and you can't record every different race that has a different spoken
10 races.
Yeah, and everyone has their different speech effects. That you can't record 10 different ones for every single thing. That doesn't make any sense. Right.
And I mean, bare
the
minimum,
audio file would be huge.
Oh my god, yeah.
Bare minimum, you're looking at about 20 different voices.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah,
just male and female.
That's right. Yeah, for each one. So yeah,
and then they're going to be introducing dwarves as well. So you can probably play as a dwarf when they bring them back in the next game.
That's true. Yeah, we'll have to have the dwarven accent. Adam said,
and the slowed and the Marama. And the snow elves, like proper snow elves, not the scummy Falmer.
The real snow
the
elves.
Tramp snow elves, which we'll call them. So you got all that stuff to add as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking
and the 20 DLC as well with all new land masses.
Yeah, I still think the next one we will visit more than one place.
I hope so. It'd be nice to have a couple different land masses, kind of like Dragon Age, the third one.
Oh yeah.
Where you have I think it was 5 or 6 different maps that you could travel to.
Yeah, that would.
And have those as two different factions.
Mm-hmm.
Like starting islands, like an ESO.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you could start in the Somerset Isles as the Aldmeri Dominion, or you could start on sort of like Skyrim or Cyrodiil, wherever, or Black Marsh, or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
I really think it's going to be either going to be in Black Marsh, or I was thinking maybe Hammerfell, because they're still resisting the Aldmeri Dominion there. So maybe
so each character would have like an origin story, and then end up at the wherever it's going to be.
Well, I think we all know the origin story.
A prisoner.
You're going to be in prison. Look, I think we all know where you're starting the next game. Whether you're in a prison
you're an Englishman in New York or something, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you're going to be in a prison in Black Marsh. You're going to be in a prison in Hammerfell. Wherever you're in a prison, you're going to be in a prison.
A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Yeah. It would be cool though if you kind of, based on what race you picked, that you started in a different spot though. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like that would all depend on where you're jailed and for what reason. That would add a little different twist to everything. But
especially if it is set in the Somerset Isles, depending on what your race is, how badly you're going to get treated. I mean, it was pretty bad in Skyrim, but it's going to be like 1,000 times worse in the Aldmeri Dominion.
Yeah, it's true.
I think that's something that I would definitely like to see is you actually being treated a certain way because of your race.
Yeah.
Where, like, let's say you're doing a quest, and if you're dealing with Dunmer and you're a Dunmer, and they're like more willing to help you out, whereas if you're like we call it an Altmer, they're not willing to help you, or something like that. Because where they just kind of say, oh, you're the blah blah blah, so we're going to go ahead and help you. But if you're an Altmer and you're trying to ask a Khajiit for help, they're going to be very suspicious of you, So it'd be nice to do the right stuff.
I saved the moons for them.
If that's the case, then they would sit there and worship you, and they'd be totally willing to help you out.
That's true. Yeah.
Just like they should.
And the Khajiit, they're what?
Carry my back.
They're from elsewhere? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Elsewhere, whatever it is. Yep. I wonder if we maybe go there a little bit. Oh gosh, they're
that would be nice because they've got a good. What is it? It's one of the stock lines from the Khajiit traders saying that they come from lands which have got sand dunes, deserts, and wild tropical jungles.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice. A nice contrast, sort of like, not just sort of like, Skyrim where you have kind of like Riften sort of area, but it's called kind of like, similar. Where you go there, it's got just jungles in one part and fucking rocky dunes in another part, and deserts and badlands and stuff like that.
That would be nice. Yeah, because then even if you added like a survival mechanic where when you were crossing the desert areas, it became more difficult, things like that. It allows for that kind of stuff too.
Plus, there'll be Khajiit everywhere, so that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody
loves Khajiit.
Yes.
Yep.
And then in the middle of the desert, there's a giant sifting wand that sifts all the poop out of the desert and throws it away. Once a night, it comes through and sifts the whole desert.
Comb the desert.
Oh God. Oh man. Not to spoil Star Wars in any way, but did you guys both see it?
I have not.
All right. Well, this doesn't spoil anything, but did you ever see Hardware Wars way back in the day? This might be an age thing. It was when the original Star Wars came out. Like there was this guy who made this thing called Hardware Wars, and Iron was like the Millennium Falcon essentially. And there was a Easter egg nod towards that in the latest Star Wars, which was absolutely fantastic and hilarious. As soon as I saw the iron come down, I'm like, oh my god, Hardware Wars, because I think it used to be on HBO constantly when I was a kid. So this had to be right around the time of Empire, before Empire came out, I think. But so it was a while ago, or around the time Empire came out. But it might be on like YouTube now or something. But yeah, it was just like this little fan movie that was made way back in the day. That was pretty funny with like household items. So there was a nod to that in the latest Star Wars. So which spoils nothing. So unless you're really excited about irons. So there's that. Oh gosh.
I was going to say something then, but it would have been really horrible. So I didn't.
More horrible than the scrotum comment earlier.
Close.
But,
I thought I'd mentioned that. I didn't mention it because restraint. I have some, not a lot, but some.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and I think I'm gonna get with Victor and see if we can do another modding episode next month. That was fun, so I'll let you guys know too, and anybody else. We'll try and schedule it out. 'Cause that went really well, so that'll be nice to do pretty regularly.
Yeah, that was a good listen. That was. I liked the backup singers, Michelle and me in the background. Getting in on the chorus was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was nice to have the questions and be able to. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Oh, and remind Victor that before he answers the question, can he tell everybody who's listening to the podcast what the question is?
Oh, that's a good point.
He started answering questions, and I had no idea
what the fuck they were talking about.
Yeah, he was giving answers. I didn't know what the question was. I thought it was fucking Jeopardy.
That's a good tip for next time. I'm going to write that down here on the whiteboard. Give the question. I do actually have a whiteboard over here that I put the dates down on, so I don't forget them.
I was going to say,
I see a display of medals for your marathon. Looks very nice.
Yeah, it says my Renee got me that. It's it displays, and then above it is the map, and I put a tack in for each state I go to, which I'm going to Alabama in a few days.
So when are you going to do the rock and roll marathon over here in
I'm actually doing I'm doing Big Sur actually.
Oh.
Which is difficult, yes. But it's the end of April. It's basically up and down a mountain. But I mean, how can you it's so beautiful. How can you pass that up?
It is really.
Can you just do the half one where you're going down the mountain?
That would be way better. Yeah. Well, my friend does the filming for it, and he rides a bike for the whole thing. He's like in charge of all the
roller
filming for the event. Yeah, so I'm like, maybe you could just give me a ride.
Trainers with the wheels in them.
The Heelys. Yeah. The rolling sneakers. Oh God, yeah. I could just roll down the mountain in those. That would be perfectly acceptable. It's just so nice out there. It was hard to pass up. I was like, oh. But we'll be back out for. We got our Comic-Con passes. We'll be back out in San Diego again.
There you go.
Every year we'll be out there.
What time of year is the marathon up in Big Sur?
That is last weekend in April, so it's coming up relatively soon.
It'll still be a little cool.
Yeah, it was like 0 degrees 2 weekends ago, so and 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not going to be cold enough where it's going to matter.
Yeah, I think worst case scenario, you might get some rain over there.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that. It's not going to be cold enough to bother me, considering how crappy this winter has been on the East Coast. So it's been a little ridiculous for a few weeks, but we're out of that, thankfully. But yeah, so I will remember to say the questions next time before they're answered. It's a good tip. Sorry for everybody who listened to that and had no idea what the fuck we were talking about. as Victor went into very detailed modding answers of questions you didn't know what they were. So I will definitely be sure to do that. But yeah, it was nice to be able to get questions from people and stuff like that. So when we plan it out, we'll definitely plan it out far enough ahead of time so that everybody knows and can kind of hop in if they want to.
Oh, come on. You're not really going to plan it.
Well, I said, we'll schedule the day. Look,
okay.
On that one, that's all. Look, Victor is the mod expert here. If you're going to ask me about mods, it's a very bad idea because you're not going to learn a whole lot. So, yeah, really, that's Victor knows that. That's his world. He knows that stuff well.
He knows it very well.
And Michelle does a ton of modding and is also a fantastic photographer, by the way. As I've seen some of his photos recently. Fantastic.
Really?
Yes, a really fantastic photographer.
No, I mean nudes.
Oh, nudes. Not that I've seen.
No?
But there could be tasteful ones. I don't know.
Just boudoir.
Boudoir.
Nudes, but they have the Skyrim underwear.
Oh, God, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. That would be pretty amazing, actually. I actually have a Skyrim blanket under me, but I use it as a lumbar pillow to keep me healthy. I'm sitting on this horrible IKEA couch. Alrighty. Well, next time, I don't know what's coming up next episode. Probably me rebuilding my Xbox One character and getting a mod list together. And then early in February, I'll see if I can get a time together for the next heavy modding episode. See if we can schedule that out soon. So we have an exact date for that. Yeah. And then we'll have episode 7 of the Roundtable coming up sometime next month as well, which is the finale episode with Colin doing the Great Gate. And then we have Paradise, Light the Dragon Fires, and picking up our dragon armor at the end. So that'll be the end of the main quest line. And then we'll set up a time for we'll have to figure out the quests for Shivering Isles as well. So maybe I'll pull up the UESP and see how they all break down.
I'll be going into that blind.
Oh, you've never played it?
Man, never.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I haven't played it since it originally came out. So I think I dipped into it a few years ago, but not enough where I would really remember anything. So yeah, so I'll have to break down those quests. Maybe I'll break them down with Juan so you can go into it blind.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that we'll do that. We can do that offline then.
Yeah, that's one that I never actually completed. I did a lot of the stuff and just never actually completed it. Okay. So that'll be fun for me to actually finally finish it.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe I'll just go through the quests and we'll break them down as best we can. And if like they kind of like this one where it's like the Great Gate kind of didn't line up properly, we can go through it, whichever one. It doesn't matter. It's not that big.
I think only thing is there's like a good side and a bad side, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I'm gonna read up on it, so I can go through it pretty in depth. Since you guys haven't played through the full thing yet, I played through it when it originally came out, obviously. But so I'll read through the whole thing and see how we want to do it. That way you're not spoiled.
Characters for this, or with the same characters?
We're just going to roll the same ones since instead of starting anew for this, and then because I think this was higher level anyway when it came out. So
yeah, I don't know if it's higher level, but once you go in there,
you're in there. Yeah,
you're in there, so you can't. You'd have to have all the gear that you're going to use through the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you don't want to go in fresh because you'll literally have nothing. Yeah, because that would be you want to have a character that has stuff for Shivering Isles. Yeah, because like Juan said, you go through the doorway and you're.
Yeah, I mean you might pick up some stuff in there, but there's no like a lot of crafting in there and stuff, and if you get anything that has, what do you call it? I don't even remember if there's places to repair everything.
Yeah, I'm not even sure actually how many hammers are available and things like that.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. It'll be God. It's been so long since I played it. I can't wait. Because Sheograth is kooky, so there's always that.
Yeah, he seems to be like the best character in every game, in every Elder Scrolls game.
He is. God, imagine if the next one focuses on him, though. I feel like, though, they can't focus the whole game on him. Like, he's good in his spurts where you get him, you know, where if you had to deal with him the whole game, you'd probably be really freaking sick of him.
I think so. He's like that kooky uncle you can only handle for a short period of time, and then you're happy to see him go.
Yeah, he's like Cicero. Like, all right, you can deal with Cicero, but then if you're hanging out in the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary too long, you don't really want him around anymore. So, but if you're just stopping by, picking up a contract, and you know he's there, he's fine enough. But yeah, Sheogorath, I would assume become very annoying if you had to deal with him for an entire like 300 hours of the game or whatever.
Yeah.
Some big epic battle where he just trolls you for an hour and or something like that. So
I mean, in ESO, his quest line is with the part of the Mages Guild, and
is it?
It's pretty interesting, the kind of the way they do his the way he messes with the world and everything, because he's basically just seems to mess with one person at a time. Is kind of the way he works.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is kind of how he rolls. He kind of brings one. Yeah. Even in his Skyrim stuff and Oblivion stuff, it seems to be that way.
Yeah.
He's really good at picking on one person.
And driving him.
Maybe it'll just be sanguine and we'll just party for the whole time. Party the whole time. I assume it'll be...
What is it, 9 Daedric Princes? So.
Yeah, it's got to be one of them because that's how they do it. So.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not, because Skyrim, no. Well, I guess it was Akatosh, technically, right?
Yeah, but yeah, the antagonist was Alduin.
Yeah, but isn't there lore?
Isn't
there lore that he actually is, though? In some lore,
there's some people, some claims that Akatosh is also Alduin.
Yeah. So I guess it could be construed that it was, you know.
Yeah, but in Oblivion, what's his name?
Mayrunes.
Yeah, well, Akatosh is just a giant dragon. So
yeah, which makes sense because Alduin is a giant dragon.
Yeah, and he turned. Well, we'll find out next time. We'll find out next time.
Oh yeah, we'll find. That's right. Yeah, we're spoiling the end of the Oblivion Roundtable. Jesus, what are we doing?
Because the game's still pretty new.
Yeah, it only came out in 2006, so.
Hey, some aspects are still new to me.
Yeah, it's been so long they're new to me too. Other than like main quest stuff, you know, which I played enough times, but like other things, I'm like, oh god, I totally forget. It's great being old. You forget shit, and it feels like new again. So that's all you got to do is just get old, and you'll forget like all the stuff you played, and it'll be really fun again.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, if you want to contact the show, SkyrimAddict@gmail.com. Thank you to all the patrons. Thank you to Adam who joined us in the chat on Patreon today.
Yep.
Later, Adam.
See what happens next time. I'm not sure, and we'll let you know when the schedule for the next one of these is. So, take care, everyone.
All right. See you in Cyrodiil.